Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Admiration, where we are looking at an ad in the US for a brand called Nulo, which many of you may not be familiar with because it's quite a small, yet to grow fully pet care brand, pet food brand, and it's called Every Dream They Hold. We have looked at a pet ad before, but this one was particularly interesting to us right now because it does also tap into the theme of the Olympics, which we've also been looking at over the recent times. So shall we dive straight in, Isa?
Yeah, let's have a look at the ad.
In the stillness of dawn, every champion's journey begins with a dream. They say greatness is forged alone, but look closer. At Nulo, we celebrate the unspoken bond, the companions that don't count laps, only moments with you. In the solitude of struggle and in the thrill of victory, they're more than just pets, they're teammates. They say, keep going, friend, with every purr, every tail wag. Nulo helps nourish the dreamers, both two-legged and four. For every champion's journey, for every dream they hold, behind them stands a pet whose inner athlete dreams too. Nulo, fuel incredible.
So I have to ask Isa, because I know you'll have looked into the ad, do those pets actually belong to those athletes?
Yeah, they really are. The campaign all started with Simone Biles and her little Frenchies back in October, and then they extended it for the Olympics, featuring other athletes and their pets. And they've even gone through, they've gone through the lengths of like advertising these kind of like some shorts on social that focus on the pets themselves. And it'll be little videos being like, say, if it's say Gabby Thomas's little pug will be like, Mom's going to the Olympics and she's going for gold and stuff like that. It's just really cute, and they single out the athletes and their pets in really cute kind of like little stories to make it all the more personal.
Oh, wow, lovely. And of course, we're recording this the day after Simone Biles did an incredible performance at the Olympics yesterday.
Yeah.
So good timing. Shall we jump into the results and see what people think of it?
Yeah, let's do it. There we have it. We've got the diagnosis of the sales and brand impact scores. Not one we see very often there, the 100 on the sales impact, and on the brand impact still within the top 25% of all ads that we've tested in the US. Obviously, as you mentioned, Kim, it's a small brand, so not everyone gets the brand at the end. But the distinctiveness of the ad, the overall emotion that it delivers, and then ultimately, like the consideration it drives amongst the target audience are key to driving that massive sales impact score there.
Yeah, and it must be quite hard to be quite distinctive within the pet care category because we
Yeah.
know that when you use animals, obviously it generally makes people feel quite good. So, obviously all of the pet care brands are going to be doing that. But to do it in a way that's seen as different, so tapping into the Olympics and looking at the relationship between those Olympians, those athletes and their pets, just bring like a new angle to that rather than just a general story around it.
Yeah, and it is something that is quite unique and credible of the brand. So not many people know the brand, but if you look into the history of it, they've got Michael Phelps as an investor. They've got other major athletes that have been supporting the brand for a really long time. So their use of Olympic stars currently makes sense for them, and it does help them drive the message of kind of premium quality nutrition that they're trying to speak about. Obviously, everyone associates athletes with caring about what they put in their bodies and how they feel to perform at the level that they do. So it's only natural that they'd care about how they're feeding their pets as well.
Yeah, it makes a beautiful connection. And the one area we should probably point out, so the unaided brand recall is obviously below norm there, and the uniqueness of brand impressions obviously is in line with the norm rather than above. And I guess just to mention, that is an area that's particularly tricky for small unknown brands, right? Because they're not naturally salient and going to come to mind. They don't benefit from triggering existing associations. Awareness actually of the brand's quite low. So given how few people were aware of the brand, you know, before watching the ad, the fact that even, you know, 60% were able, you know, within a reel of other ads, a number of minutes after they'd watched it, to remember that they'd seen an ad for Nulo and name that brand. I think yes, it's clearly not the area of strength, but it's actually done a pretty good job considering some of the difficulties, and it's compensated beautifully, which you called out, by the big uplift that we get in purchase, which tends to be easier for smaller brands. So it comes out nicely in the wash.
Yeah, definitely.
Shall we dive a little bit into the emotion, which is clearly off the scale there and clearly one of the key drivers of success?
Yeah, definitely. I think if we have a look at the overall emotion level first, that's already a big tell of how people are left feeling after watching the ad. And we can have a look at the second by second. But just, I guess, just that showcasing, it's rare for a start for us to see ads when it comes to the Olympics that showcase, I guess, like the support system that athletes have. And in this case, Nulo have brought in the pets to include within that support system, and just the unwavering companionship that they display within the ads of those pets towards their athlete parents. Just drives so much love for the audience, and you can see their like massive love reaction when replaying like how the ad made them feel overall, significantly above the norm that we see for the US. And then we've got an additional 42% of people saying that they felt like towards it. So we've got well over 90% of the audience feeling overwhelmingly positive after watching the ad, which is huge.
Yeah, and just picking up on a couple of things you said there, it is that lovely expression where they talk about them as teammates, which I think is the perfect insight of how people would see their pets as really being as important to them in their lives. And when you look at the likes, which I know that you went through, but yeah, exactly that kind of heartwarming depiction of that relationship and what they mean in people's lives is clearly what's driving that love. And it's probably worth referencing when we look, you know, at meta-analysis across all of the different ads that we have. Yes, whenever you have a pet, it does make people feel a little bit more positive, but that in and of itself doesn't drive the overall impact as much as what you do with those animals. So the relationship that's being portrayed here, you know, the love that the pet has for the owner, that they're always there, and the love that the owner has for the pet, and how that comes together. That use of the pets is way beyond just having a dog in the ad, right? And it's that relationship, that heartwarming relationship, that people are responding really positively to.
And there's the different instances where like new pets are being introduced. You can see massive spikes of love every time a new animal is kind of showcased within the advert, and I mean that comes through kind of very, very clearly. When we look at the second by second emotional trace there in that purple, you see the love peaks, and then just below it the likes. So very strong as well. But then, I mean, going back to what we were talking about before, in terms of it being a small brand, and we were talking about small brands having almost for it being easier with a successful ad to actually generate a level of uplift because they're coming from a very small base. It's no easy feat to do what Nulo has done here with this ad, because we're talking about a 45% uplift overall. But when you see where they were coming from, that level of an uplift is even more significant, and kind of like it's just a testament of how great the ad was, not only kind of driving awareness for the brand, but also making pet owners really want to consider it the next time they're buying pet food. So that's going from a base of 1% of people who said that they would have chosen Nulo as the pet food brand that they'd go for next time they're buying pet food. So that's incredible.
That is incredible. And I suppose it's a nice reminder, doing things in the right way, those people who did take out the brand because it made them feel such strong love, and because it made them, you know, think about their relationship with their pets and feeding them the best almost. It has created that huge level of brand reappraisal, which is amazing to see. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, another great Olympic ad then that we've seen there. Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
No, not necessarily. I guess just a highlight of the individual campaigns. Obviously, they've taken the time to kind of really, really draw the attention to each individual athlete and their pet in individual kind of stories that they're posting around their socials, but they've also done 30-second ads for each of the pairs of athletes and pets. So it just drives that message even further. And again, like, just heightens kind of the emotional connection between the audience and the brand, really kind of like getting people to consider it.
I think there's something about authenticity here as well, like for that kind of brand, which is, you know, done badly when people use a famous person or an Olympic athlete with no authenticity, like slapping them on there for the attention at the right time of the year. What we've seen in all the best ads is when they actually use an Olympian or the Olympics in a really authentic way for the brand, and this has a degree of authenticity to it. I think that's what you see here. It's like, we've not just created this one film, we actually want to take you behind those relationships of these athletes and this genuine relationship that they have with their pets, which is quite wonderful to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for that analysis as always, Isa, and thanks to Nulo for that wonderful ad, which I enjoyed watching multiple times. I mean, I do love pets, so I was in my happy place. And I love the Olympics, so it's a great combo for me. And we'll be back next week.
Yeah, thank you.